Great, fantastic. And once again, welcome today to the social media marketing webinar with Ardy Marketing and with My Biz Marketer. Welcome everybody, and thank you for all for being here on time. So I'll just do a bit of an introduction on myself. My name is Rima, and I'm the founder and CEO of Ardy Marketing. And what we do at Ardy Marketing is we help organizations with their marketing needs. We listen to you, we figure out what your objectives are, and we help you plug in with some strategies to help you move forward. And social media is just one of the things that we provide as Ardy Marketing. Eunice?
Yes. Hi, everybody. Eunice Nyandat with My Biz Marketer. We represent Africa. And what we do is help startups and to some SMEs to figure out how to connect to their customers. So mostly digital marketing, advertising, and that's digital advertising and analytics. And really the goal is to help you figure out where your customers are. So the core competency for My Biz Marketer is go-to-market strategy, product marketing, but we are the experts in digital advertising as well. So when you need us, we are here for you. So let's get started. Now, I'm excited about this. And I think a lot of people were looking forward to this. We had a lot of people register, and I think they will be joining us shortly, but we're not going to waste your time. We want to get started. So next slide, Rima.
Great. Actually, just before you go into the next slide, I just want to let people know, if in case you haven't ever been here before, I know a lot of you have been before, but if you haven't, we do this webinar every month. So once a month, we've been doing this since last year.
Yep.
And we do a coffee chat, so where we invite an expert. So we'll tell you all about that next event that's happening on the 29th of September as well. So come with your questions. We do a Q&A. And if you have not been able to catch any of those, we've got a recording on YouTube. All of our webinars and coffee chats are on YouTube as well. So we will be sharing that later on. But to start off with, Eunice, here we go.
All right. So social media marketing is huge and it's vast, and we can't even cover it in an hour and a half that we have the time to. So we, in fact, just discussed this today, that we're probably just doing a part one on this. So today we're covering the platforms, the people, conversations, customers, how to keep it simple, to listen, monitor, measure, the metrics that are important, why, content, strategy, getting attention, the resources you need, and then what next. So the platforms, you all are familiar with them, right? Snapchat, Facebook, TikTok, Twitter, YouTube, WhatsApp, LinkedIn, Instagram, and there's still many more coming out there. There are many more that are in locations that we don't use, the Weibo, the ones that are in China that we have not gotten into, the WeChat, but some of them will probably venture out this way because of how vast they've gotten. But for now, we are going to talk about this ones.
Right. Sorry, there we go. So first and foremost, one of the major things, apart from being on all these different platforms that we've just mentioned right now, is to connect to your customers through the power of story, right? So that's the most powerful way to connect with your customers. Remember, your customers are people, and you want to create a brand story. You want to build your brand through stories, and you can create those stories through how you can be able to talk to your customers, right? What would they like to listen from you? Do they want to hear your brand history? Would they like to hear about what your current customers are saying about you? Would they like to be responded to, for example? Would they like to be inspired? So all of these are stories, and the power of story is so important in part of social media, right? Facebook being one of the biggest, if not the biggest place where everybody is converging. As you can see over here, I mean, this is the most recent statistics where 2.89 billion users are on Facebook, right? So as much as people are saying Facebook is dead, is it really? right? Is it really? This is why are people coming and why are people still joining in? And you can see it's an upward trend, right? So there must be something that is right there, that people want to understand. Why social? Why is this media? Why these tools, right? So we will cover that today.
So the people that are key to social media, this is why we are on social, right? We're trying to connect with people. These are the key people that you're connecting with, the customers. Paramount, you're trying to connect with customers, your employees, your investors. The investors need to know, if you're a startup, investors need to know what you're up to. Your critics, you need to change their opinions about you. Your fans, you need to engage them so they can continue to vibrate your message and create more customers, engage your customers more, right? Your competition, you need to know what they're doing and make sure that you're keeping up on top of them. So everybody's on the internet. You gotta know what they're doing. So your objective is to learn more about your customers, your employees, your investors, your critics. You cannot not be on social media because all these people are important and that's where you find them, right?
Right. And what do you do with people? You have conversations with them. You do not have, like, you're not a robot and you're not talking to robots. You're talking to people. So you have conversations with them. People are complex. However, if you speak to them in a human voice, they're more likely to actually connect with you. Yeah, if you're very controlled and if you have you have to be on message or very, very professional or something like that, you may miss out, even if you're speaking to professional people, because at the end of the day, they are they are human, just like you and me. So how is it that you can actually have a conversation with them, right? So in a nutshell, your customers are the people that you have the conversation with, and you can do it in several ways, right? You can be able to do research with them. You do strategic planning, you can do implementation, evaluation, and of course, telling a story, which we've already talked about. How do you do research, for example? How do you use social media to do a bit of research? Now, like on Instagram, for example, you've got the polls or the quiz, right? On your stories, you can create that. And that's a great way of actually engaging with your customers and understanding what their likes and dislikes. I mean, you can do it as posts as well, right? You can give them suggestions and ideas of like, okay, so there's this item and there's this item. Which would you prefer better? Which colors do you like better? Which styles do you like better? There's so much stuff that you can be able to do, and you'll be able to know right from your clients, right from your customers, right from the horse's mouth, that what are some of the things that they prefer. And then you're listening to your customer. Again, we'll come back to that. But one of the things you can be able to do is research. You can plan around that, of course. Your strategic plan would be, how do you have those conversations with people? How do you trigger the emotions, right? Stories create that resonance with people. And if you've seen it, I mean, even in our previous webinar, we had some ads that we were sharing. And the ad the most recent one that I've actually seen online now is the Pearl Rice one. And you're on a Zoom call with people and you're doing some, I don't know if everyone has caught that yet. And this guy who's like conducting the webinar or the meeting gets somebody at the back coming with some rice, and then he just jumps off and he's in his boxer shorts, and then everyone's looking at them, and then people are laughing, right? But you can connect with that story. There's an emotion that has been triggered right there, so connecting with people, connecting with your customers, there's so much stuff that you can be able to do. We're going to go through the evaluation, but it's important to measure and evaluate what is coming through, even with your research that you've done with your customers, like you mentioned. What are most people saying? You can say, and you can find out why they're saying that. So, and if they've said, okay, I prefer A to B, but then why are they saying that? And you're easily able to do that through social media. It's a great tool to actually connect with your customers. Right?
Well, yeah. So remember, keep it simple, right? Having a content strategy is important, but the more important thing is if you have a team, and for the most part, we normally most people won't have a team. Big corporations do. Allocate the time, make the time. I know some of you are going to ask, when do I post? How do I post? How frequently do I do that? That is another deep dive, and there's some art to it, there's some science to it. And that's going to be a part 2 to this webinar, but allocate the time to do this. We have a poll. Nina, can we push the poll right now? Push the first poll. We want to know, yeah.
Can you see it?
I can't on my end, but I hope everybody can see it.
Yeah, I can see it.
Guys are voting.
Yeah, I can see it, Eunice.
Okay, good. And the reason why we want you to keep it simple is because if you overcomplicate things, then you'll be counting things and measuring things that are not important. And you want to measure things that give back to your bottom line and your ROI. And especially when you don't have a team, when you make it complicated, you're giving yourself a workload that then doesn't return you your investment. So keeping it simple, for example, all I want to know is, did we get engagement? Did we get shares? Did we get likes? That is simple enough. If that's the goal of your post that day. Today we have a social media marketing webinar. We want to see if people registered. That was our goal. How many people registered? That's our second goal. That's it. Keeping it simple. That's example. Is the poll done?
Yeah, can you see it now, Eunice?
No, for some reason I can't. Oh, maybe I'm not host, that's why.
Oh, okay.
I am co-host, but I can't see it. But
Well,
that's okay. So Rima, go ahead and give us the results.
Okay, so we've got so people who are employed are 41%. We've got employed with a side hustle, that's great, which is 24%. We've got 29% of entrepreneurs, and we've got 1 student in here.
Awesome. Yeah. So I can imagine that the employed with a side hustle, if you're managing your side hustle social media, you really are the one who's going to have to keep it very simple, right? Because the time to work and do your social media, and especially if you're doing content creation, then it's difficult. Can we do the second poll, please?
Okay.
There we go.
We've got social media usage. What do you use social media for? Would love to know what you use it for. Do you use it for personal? Do you use it only for work? Do you use it for personal and work? Or are you a content creator? Do you monetize your content? Right, that's great. Yeah, so far we've got 1 person who says they actually do monetize it. So they're a content creator. Fantastic.
Okay. All right.
Great. Most people are both personal and work. That's great.
Okay. So balancing that is going to be, challenging. So read my next slide. And this is the reason why I wanted to do that. Next slide. So how do you then balance that? And there's enough tools out there to do that. For example, I've used Hootsuite, I've used Buffer, and lately Facebook has the Facebook creator that you can use to post on Facebook and Instagram. Instagram used to be very difficult to use other third-party tools to post with, because you had to create and then go to a third-party tool to post and then go back to your phone to push the content. But now you can push directly from a Facebook a business creator or the Instagram application itself, and it posts both on Instagram and Facebook. So there are, the tools are making it easier for us to schedule things. So you can schedule a week worth of posts so that you can then get things done. the one thing that does is you can pre-plan and say, Mondays, I'll do all my scheduling for your posts. And then the next thing to do is just make sure that everything goes in there in Rend as well. Don't post and go away. You make sure you're keeping on and checking and checking. So the other tools are Canva, and there are many others. We've got a link here, and Nina is going to share with you the link of all the tools that we know of, that some are free, some have a fee to it, that you can check out and try and use to make your life easier.
Yeah. And what you're saying, Eunice, is just the same thing, right? So you don't post and run away. You don't post and go away. You've got to listen to your customers. You've got to engage your customers. You've got to, even if it's potential customers, you've got to listen to them. So listening is a most crucial part of the social media marketing, because when you listen to your customers, you may be able to get how you can do all these things that we've listed out over here. How do you create a buzz for your events and campaigns? You can be able to get this information from your clients and say, okay, fine, you know what? This is how we can be able to create even better exposure for our brand. You can do recruitment, of course, from your social media as well, spreading the messaging, finding different opportunities as well, right? Because you're listening to, I mean, it's like, here you are, like I mentioned to you earlier, which is you have a product and you've got two different styles of something, and you've asked them already that, hey, listen, do you like A or B? And then all the people who said that they like A, you can see that they're all women, for example. I mean, it's a very small, example. And then all of B say that they're all mostly men. So then you know that, for example, when you're doing your brand awareness campaigns and when you're running your ads as well on social media, you know that like this is the style that I will push to the female part of my target audience. Yes. And this is what I'm going to sell to the male part of my target audience, because this is what they resonate with more. Exactly. So then that, of course, makes sure that your target audience connects with you in the best way possible. Absolutely. And so you're also using more of that to attract the potential clients of a certain segment or of a certain target audience as well. So, I mean, we've mentioned some of these things, and at the end of the day, you want to create a message that would generate leads, all right? Because we're in social media to sell. We're in social media to build a brand. We're in social media to connect with our customers. Yeah. And of course, when you're doing some of these things, and we mentioned about storytelling, you want to be heard as an industry leader rather than a follower. You're not just retweeting things, you're talking about things, you're mentioning about things, you're educating somebody, you're entertaining somebody, you're exciting somebody, right? So there's so many E's, and I think I'm going to write the E's at some point over here. Yeah. Eunice and I work with quite a lot of E's over here, and we use that for all parts of our marketing. So yeah, it can be very helpful.
Yes. So why we say listen and then go back and look, you're monitoring for that engagement. Why you're monitoring is because of what Rima said, to listen. The listen at those customer buying triggers that you're looking for. Because somebody might say, hey, I like the cake that somebody makes cakes. I can't remember who it was, and my age is showing. But she was Nancy. I think Nancy was talking about making several types of cakes, and somebody says my favorite cake is this, and nobody makes it as well as so and so, and Nancy pipes up and say, hey, I know I can make it better than that person. You want to try me? So Nancy is listening to this customer, and the customer might say, go ahead, make my cake, I challenge you. And Nancy makes the cake. Now she wins a customer over. That's listening, but she wouldn't have known if she wasn't monitoring her social media engagement to see what the conversation is about. So you have to keep engaged so that you don't miss opportunities like that. You might hear somebody or see somebody complaining of an experience they had with a competition, and you might say, hey, I can do better than my competition and give you better service. Monitor, write on opportunities of engagement. Customers might, or fans might, reshare and create user contents, and you and vibrate your brand. if you won't know it if you're not there to continue engaging and vibrating. So it's important to monitor and find your opportunity to blow your brand up. All right. Next slide.
Yeah, there you go. Measure, Eunice?
So measure is, here's where the secret sauce is. You would not know your success of your brand if you're not measuring. And you have to go into this with goals and objectives and the metrics to go. So for example, you're brand new to social media. The first thing you're trying to do is get likes, follows, and loves, and whatever it is you're looking for. So you create the page and you've got nothing on there. What are you going to do? You're going to create content. So your first goal is get followers, right? So you have to create content that is exciting, engaging, and educative and entertaining, all the E's we're talking about, to try and see if you can get followers. But here's the thing, you probably have to run some ads, some boosts to get visibility in the algorithm of Facebook, Instagram, whatever platform you're in, so that you get visibility, because you're a brand new brand. Nobody knows about you, right? And when you do that, you're creating a slight brand and awareness, because you are unknown. Then the fans get involved. If they like the content you're putting out, to get excited and they start to reshare, your brand gets reshared by your fans. And that builds visibility within the people that is sharing. You're borrowing trust from your fans. So if Eunice likes your product and she shares it on her followers, the followers like Eunice, and so they say, oh, if Eunice likes that, then I'm okay with it. And that's how you build a following. So you want to build on that momentum. So you keep those KPIs, tracking those KPIs to say, okay, day over day, I'm getting new business inquiries, I'm building customer satisfaction, I'm getting new products, people buying new products, and I'm retaining my customers. Am I getting followers? Am I going viral with what I'm doing? Especially if I'm a content creator that needs to monetize. What am I achieving? If I've got an app, am I still continuing to get downloads? And are the users that are downloading this app, are they using my app? What is the rate of use on my app? So those are the metrics you want to keep. If nothing's happening, then there's something wrong. You have to change what you're doing, re-strategize again. Next slide.
Yeah, and so part of the measurement, of course, is what are you measuring, right? What are the metrics that come out of it? One of the major ones right now is not even the number of people following you or the likes you get, but the impressions you have on the post or your ad or whatever it is. Of course, it's important to get some engagement, to get people at least asking you questions, inquiring about certain things, but you realize that the first even 3 to 6 months from when you start a campaign, and a campaign, I mean, not just organic posting, but also paid ads, you need to have that as a brand awareness. It's a brand awareness space for 3 to 6 months, okay? And so interactions in terms of impressions are always really important. Good ratio of number of people you reach. Here's the other thing about it's about Facebook. I'll give you a bit of a tip on this, is that if you have a page, it's only a small percentage of the people who follow you or like your page that will be able to see your post. Means that, Facebook is actually asking you to run more ads to actually get to your customers. Yeah. All right. So there is that bit right there. Otherwise, you're actually talking to yourself, pretty much. There's only like maybe a handful of people who'll be able to see, or if they come to your page to do that. But ask yourself, how many times do you go to a page to have a look at what they've actually done? Only unless you're looking for certain things, right? You'll go to that page if you're looking for certain things and be like, oh, wait a minute. You're doing your math on that. But here's some examples of some metrics that we've actually pulled out. The top part over here is from Facebook. And we're looking at the actions on the page. Sorry, was there a question there? All right, sorry. So we're looking at page views. We're looking at how many people did you reach, with this ad, or how many post engagements did you get? How many new followers did you get? Is it an upward trend? Is it a downward trend? And all these insights can be actually found, but you need to look for them, because this is the information that will help you to make much better choices or much better judgment on what you're going to be running after that, right? One of the things that we talk about quite a bit is A/B testing, and I'll get into A/B testing in a little bit. You can see bottom over here is about Instagram engagements. I love going into a post and seeing the insights of a post or a reel or whatever you've done. And it actually shows, like, for example, if you've not used hashtags, it'll say 0 people found you through hashtags. But if you use hashtags and you can even use up to 20 different hashtags, guys, but they have to be relevant. They've got to be relevant to what you're posting. Otherwise, it can be deemed as spam. So you've got to have more relevant information, and people are searching for certain things, then they will be able to see your post as well. So be more relevant, and you'll be able to see how many people engaged and liked your post, for example. And from there also, you can be able to see, like, if you look at 2 different posts of yours, this one did better than this one, as much as probably they're similar. But you can see, like, for example, is it because of the narration that you did on this one? Because the images were similar? Or was it that the image was different and that's what people liked, So there's so many things that can be able to evaluate from the metrics that can help you make decisions further on as you're going on posting and creating content for your customers and to engage with your customers. Here's another one. This is about stories. It's showing how many people, stories interactions here, how many people tapped forward. So if you've not done stories, guys, on Instagram, great way of actually attracting people to come and see what you're doing. Posts are great, but put it on a story anyway, right? I would always recommend that. So tap forward is when you click to see what's next. Tap backwards is they went back, they liked something and they went back and they were trying to read back again. And then exit is that when they came on there and they just exited because they didn't like it or whatever it is, but then that's what the exits are. So this kind of information can actually help you, right? I mean, if you're evaluating, like, even if it's per week or per month, it gives you great insights on how you can be able to move forward with what kind of things you can be able to put. One of the behaviors, again, I will talk about here is video. So if you can try out video versus image, you'll see the behavior is that people will interact more with your video rather than the image artwork that you've actually put out.
Very much. And I want to add that this applies to TikTok as well, with your 1 minute or 3 minute. If you've got TikTok and you've got the ability to do 3 minute video. So if you're doing Instagram, go over, use the same video, do the same on TikTok, and let those cross pollinate and give you audiences on both, and grow your brand that way, both as a content creator or as a brand or as a side hustle trying to develop your product and sell products.
Yeah. So of course that takes us into the why we're doing what we're doing. Remember, we said that we're here as a business because we want to sell. But then without actually asking somebody to call to action, please buy my product, please click here to learn more about this product, click here to purchase, click here to register. I mean, whatever that is, it's like selling without a phone. You're sales prospecting without social media right now in this day and age. Your social media is as crucial a tool as your phone.
Yes, absolutely.
Literally, right? It's become like a part and parcel of every business. If you're, in fact, just one more thing I'm going to add over here. There are businesses I have found that, fine, if you don't have a website, I understand. but like maybe there's no budget or something like that, but you do not have a social media page, then what is your identity online? Your identity online is such a crucial part of who you are and what you do and why you're doing what you're doing, right? So you can have, so that's just your basic part, first of all. Then in your strategy for posting, I mean, here's something that we throw in for you. You've got to have, of course, amazing content, and we've given you the 5 E's in there: engage, excite, educate. Yeah. What are the other 5 that were there? Hang on, I'm just going to read them out again. Engage, empower, and entertain, excite, and educate. Yeah. All right. Then how frequent you do it. It is not necessary that you do it every single day. But if you do it, like, for example, I say 3 times in a week, then please keep it to 3 times in a week. Keep an ideal frequency of how often you want to be able to connect with your customers and put your content out there. And then find out what's the perfect timing for when you can engage with your customers as well. It could be early in the morning. It could be during a midday when people are on a lunch break, for example, and the first thing that they do is grab their phone and you're boom, right there. Or it could be in the evening. So depending on what your timings are, to find that out, and that would be a great posting strategy for you as well, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
So listen, whether you've got budget or you don't, content creation is always a challenge, even when you have budget. Even the big movie makers will tell you content creation is a challenge. You've got writers, you've got the videographers and all that. They still have to figure out how to make this content work. So now we don't have the big budgets. We don't have the teams, but we still have to create the content. Now there's tools out there that have gone on to make things easier for us. And just Google content, whether it's in video, things like Canva that help you with video and image. Go ahead, use those. There's already embedded animated videos that you can use to augment and make your own videos out of, and make 1 minute, 2 minute, or 30-second video that can then boost your brand on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube short. Even YouTube now has its short videos. Create those and take a Saturday and just create little mini videos that you can post throughout the month, that then gives your brand this feel of like you have this huge budget and team that is working for you. Create those, make them so exciting and educative and engaging that people want to reuse them, and users generate content for you that vibrate your brand and build your following that way. Create themes so that, if, for example, the way we do it at MBA, My Biz Marketer and Ardy Marketing, September is social media marketing, and we're probably going to do social media marketing in October because it's such a huge subject. We make that the theme. Choose a theme every month. You can even make it 3 months. I'm talking about this. If I'm Nancy who's doing cakes, you could do organic cakes, eggless cakes, gluten-free cakes. That's the theme. How do I make mini cupcakes? And the theme is pink. If I'm Lillian from Aleppo, how do women invest? How do I save with a budget of 5K? If you're Rogers, who is in EdTech, how do we advance ourselves with content creation? And so choose a theme and run with it. Right? Next slide, Rima. And the reason you do this is because you want this content to work for you. And the key theme is here is align, execute, distribute, and analyze. And the one thing I think we all miss is the distribution part. And the key to the distribution part is that you have to know where your audience is and make sure that you are putting this content where that audience is, right? And then using other platforms to cross-pollinate to your content so that it builds that what we call virality, if I could use that word, and that gets you bring in new audience for you. For example, somebody asked about TikTok, right? You don't have an audience there yet, and they say the age group that is 20 or 13 to 27 is an age group you're going at, and that's where they're at. create that 1-minute video that captures them. It's exciting, it's super educative, but you want them to come over to YouTube and view your long stem video. Capture them there and tell them, hey, you want to see the long length video of this video? Come find me on YouTube. Now, if you're selling women's clothing and you're trying to get them to try a new style, and you've got pictorials of that, Pinterest, get the style coordinated on Pinterest, and then do a TikTok about it and do little flashes of it, and then pull them all from TikTok to Pinterest to then your e-commerce platform. So that distribution then brings you to where you analyze what worked, what brought them there. Was it TikTok, Pinterest, or what? And then rinse and repeat. And that way you're growing your brand faster with you as just a single team without this expansive team. And that's how most small brands start. Using this whole cycle of content cycle and doing the most they can with the little budget they have. Next slide.
Right, so that just goes into the strategy that you can use on social media, all right? Like we mentioned, I think this is just sort of touching onto the basic or the first things you need to figure out about marketing on social media. Sorry, I'm just gonna throw this in, but I know there are people who, businesses who say that, oh, so long as you know IT, you'll be able to do social media. But there's so much more to marketing on social media and not just the knowledge of IT, right? So that's what we're trying to get you over here and trying to explain to you. So the first and foremost is, what is your objective? What are you trying to achieve when you're on social media? What is that main focus that you have? So then now, once you've understood that, then now you can create a rationale around it, right? So how are you going to advance that goal? So for example, my goal is to sell the cupcakes. I mean, I want to attract people who would love to get vegan cupcakes that are not probably on the market at all. So how do I actually get people to do that? So now I create a rationale around it and say, okay, fine. What are the pain points of those people who are looking for vegan cupcakes? One, they don't have milk. Two, they prefer like little sugar, or they don't prefer that at all. I mean, whatever, it's plant-based, and you want to do something plant-based as well. So now you create a rationale around it. Now you've understood you now go back and go into who's your target audience. All right. So you can target your target audience, or your buyer persona is such an important part of when you're creating the strategy, because you want to have targeted marketing. It's not a spray and pray, guys. I know on social media, you say, just so long as I have lots of followers, I am okay. But imagine you have millions of followers, but none of whom actually connect to what your product or service is, means that your conversion rates will be very low. Your conversion rate will be very, very low. All right. So you've got to understand your target audience and how you can be able to get to that goal, or how can be able to achieve that goal that you've selected. So for example, I said, I want X number of inquiries coming in from certain things, from the posts that I actually go out, or the ad that I'm actually running. You've got to understand also the behavior of your audience, right? What are their habits? Remember, I mentioned earlier as well that what time of the day do they go on social media? What time will you be able to get them, and when they can be able to make a decision? It's maybe not around about 10 o'clock in the morning. It could be about 6 o'clock in the evening when they're just relaxing and coming back from work. One of the other things you've got to realize about your audience also is, which platform will you find them on? Yeah. Right. And I know there's some comments around over here about TikTok and what have you. It's supposed to be like, if, for example, you're looking at younger generation, your younger generation may be on Snapchat and TikTok. So then that's where you go. If you have your older generation, for example, on Facebook, then go onto Facebook and find where those people are. Where's your target audience at? And interact with them where they're at. If it's like somewhere in between, because I realize that quite a bit of youngsters, as well as like the hip older generations, slightly hip older generation, are on Instagram. And, so go on Instagram for that. But if you're looking for professionals and you're looking quite a lot of B2B, for example, then LinkedIn is a great tool to go for as well. And doing videos and content on LinkedIn is a great way of actually connecting with your target audience. So you try to figure out how are they using these tools? How are they using these platforms? Okay. And once you understand that, you're able to easily then connect with your customers. Of course, there's going to be quite a bit of testing and evaluating. The testing and evaluating and monitoring will carry on, because that's now what's going to help you, especially in your initial, remember the 3 to 6 months I talked about when we're doing the brand awareness, is where you're really getting to get the information about the target audience and how you can be able to interact with them further. All right. Then, for example, you've got people who like we talked about the vegan cakes, right? So what is your approach to them? Remember, you understand their pain points, right? So now your approach to them is, hey, you were looking for something that didn't have milk and still be sweet because you have a sweet tooth, then this is what we'll be able to give to you. Try out our most amazing vegan cupcakes that will make you will not even miss the one that is made with milk. You will never even know about it. So your approach on how you're talking to your customers will also change. So that's a strategy, right? You've got a strategy. You start with your goal, go to the rationale, understand your target audience, understand where you can find the target audience and how do they use it. For example, one of the other use of tools is, here in Kenya, most people consume all their online activities on their mobile phones, even more so than the laptops or computer. Right? So you've got to make sure that all your content is mobile friendly, all your content, even your website, for example, right? I'm just going to throw this out there. You've got to make sure that it's mobile responsive. Because that's where people are actually, that's how they're using that tool or that platform. Okay. So that's just a bit of a breakdown on the strategy.
Yep.
Right.
Well, guys, remember this guy? Who doesn't know this guy? Who tried this challenge, by the way? I didn't dare, but I love Ugali, but I didn't dare. But I know people who attempted this, and I saw folks on Twitter attempting this. This went viral, right? Now, if you're a brand and you saw this and you say, well, let me see if I can capitalize on this viral video, and you wanted to gain a visibility, how would you have used this? And Rima and I were talking about this. We're like, we don't know. Maybe we would have gone, well, our brands these days are a little budget conscious. So even at home, we're eating a little more ugali. More ugali than we used to because of the times we are in. So brands or people would find a way to use this. So the formula to going viral, you can see over there, number of shares divided by number of impressions times 100 times 100 equals that. But honestly, they still, the engagement and the excitement and the entertainment that you cannot calculate. This is the art bit of going viral. This is the science bit, but we cannot calculate the art bit. Because when he did this, I don't think he was calculating it going viral, right? So when you create a piece of content and you want it to go viral, I don't think, and I don't know, there's a way to say, when we're done with this webinar, it's going to go viral. You can't do that. There's a combination of art and message and video and authenticity that goes into it to make it go viral. So think about it when you're creating it, be authentic, right? He's very authentic. He doesn't have his shirt on. He's got a nice plate, a huge ugali, very comfortable. He wasn't trying to be anybody but himself. So be authentic when you're creating your content. Don't try to be, show off or anything.
For somebody else.
Yes, be true to yourself. And honestly, if you notice the formulas of the videos that go viral, it's the authenticity, and they're really not calculated. Nobody even anticipated it would go viral, that make them go viral, right? So they could give us a formula, but the art part of it is the authenticity and the uncalculatedness of that. If uncalculatedness is a word,
yeah,
that goes into.
Just, I mean, talking about TikTok, and there was somebody here who mentioned that he could probably be, you know, like, what is it? Yeah, here we go. He could probably be an influencer on a particular platform, just like TikTok, because it's really growing very well organically, because it's content driven.
Yes.
All right. So it's very, very content driven. I know some guy that my husband watches, and all he does is he watches a video, and then you've got him on the side, and then he shows something and he does that.
Yes.
Like
he's got millions.
You know, and he's got millions and millions of followers, and all he's doing is his expression and then that.
And his reaction is authentic. He's like, it is authentic. And you're like, you know, he's authentic, and he's gone viral, and people follow him, and he's got more followers than presidents.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah. So go forth, create content, tell stories, guys. Please tell stories. Be authentic. Don't be anybody else. Be you. Nancy, when you're making your cakes, you're making them in your kitchen. It doesn't matter what your kitchen looks like, but the amazing cake that comes out of it, guys are going to resonate with it, right? Thank you, Nina. Yeah, so that's the guy. You know, so if you're talking to your customers, I'm hearing like we should even be doing behind the scenes before we get started with our webinars, and that might go viral. So the things that people care about and connect with as the natural things we do, not the rehearsed, prepped, and how proper we look. It may be when I'm without my makeup and glasses and all that may be more authentic than what I look right now. So be real, be authentic, and you'll find that people will connect and buy with you more. People buy from people they like. So please. So do that and be real. And when you talk to your customers, talk to them like Rima said, have conversations. We need to do that more. And when you tell a story, we here trying to connect with you and help you do better by selling more and getting more customers. We need to tell stories more of how we've helped our customers and to do more, to buy, to sell and grow, and so that you can understand how you can do that better. And I think it's for us as Africans, we've always told stories. We need to go back to that style of telling stories, right? And somebody's asking about influencers. The influencers help. You will not know who your true influencers. Don't let somebody tell you I'm an influencer. You will know the influencers on your platforms, in your following, because of what they say about your products in your pages. Use those guys who are talking about your products to other people. Don't pay somebody else. Look within your social media platforms about the folks that talk the most about you to other people. Those are your influencers. The best influencers. If somebody's in your social media talking about how Nancy's cupcakes are the best, that's an influencer for you.
Actually, what I love about that would be a great opportunity. It's actually that will also be user-generated content right there, right? Mm-hmm. And make sure that you actually highlight them. You know, your post can also be around about what your customers have said already, and then tag them and appreciate them, because that's where it's all coming from. And here's what you realize: once you tag and appreciate them, they would do the same thing to their side, and then that's what they're doing. They're actually then talking to the people within their peers And that's your target audience right there. So micro influencers, or, you know, small influencers like those with a few thousands of followers are your best bet, especially if you're on a budget. And even if you're looking at macro influencers, please look at whether they are talking to your target audience, because they could actually do it completely viral. People know about it, but are they really talking to your target audience?
Yeah.
That's what's really important and crucial, right?
Yeah.
I want to run the next poll, and I want to find out about what is your preferred social media platform, guys. Penina, can you launch the next one? Let's see.
There we go.
So I've discovered TikTok and it's very addictive. I might be deleting it. Guys,
Yeah,
TikTok is something else. Oof.
But what I love about TikTok is also the amount of educative stuff that's in there. It's not just the crazy videos of people dancing or, you know, babies and things of that sort. There is quite a bit of educative content in there as well. Yeah. In small short videos. And you realize that the other trend right now is that people are consuming shorter videos. They'd rather have like less than 10 minutes or 30 seconds or 60 seconds of a video rather than anything else, you know. So let's see what we're running the preferred social media platform. We've put it as multiple choice because we want to know what are some of the ones that you prefer. So you can select one or two or three if you want, but give me your top one or top two from the ones that we've placed over here, which is Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok. And anyone who is watching us live on Facebook, you guys can put this on the comment as well. What is your preferred social media platform? Is it Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, Pinterest, YouTube, or LinkedIn? Okay.
And Rogers just asked, what's the best time to post? The best time to post is based on your stats when you look at your insights to see when your audience visits and consumes and views your post. Some will be early morning, some will be afternoon. So you schedule your post based on that time. So you want to look in the back end to see when your audience is visiting and viewing your content, then post then, schedule it then.
Okay. So I'm just going to share the results in here.
Linda says submission failed. Somebody help Linda.
I may have stopped it too early. Is that what it is? I'm sorry. But you can write it on the chat if you want. I just stopped it. I'm so sorry.
Sorry, Linda.
So we've got Facebook. We've got the highest on Instagram, which is 71%.
Ooh,
then we've got Facebook at 57%. We've got Twitter at 38%, followed by YouTube and LinkedIn at tied at 29%. Then we've got TikTok at 14% and then Snapchat at 10%. So that's what our polls are at the moment. Okay. Great. And then the final one is, and you can tell me if you are using this or not using this, are you using social media for marketing or is it just for personal use? So are you using it for marketing? If you're not using it for marketing and you're just using it for just looking at people's photographs and stuff like that, just say no. Right, so Eunice, I know you and we use it for marketing and we use it for personal use, right? So
we're super users.
Yeah. But okay, great. But it's a great tool, guys, of course.
Thanks, Elizabeth. Thank you.
It's quite a bit in terms of marketing. All right, so
good job, guys.
Great, fantastic. No.
If you could type in the chat, tell us if there's anything you've learned from us that is new to you, or were we just telling you stuff you already knew, so that we know to what new content when we do part 2 to bring. We're thinking of doing tips and tricks. There are many. We can't cover all, but we'll probably do tips and tricks. For example, people are asking about posts. You know, that is not even a tip or trick. So you really have to look into your insight to everybody's is different. So let us know in the chat what you learned that was new. And then what you would like to learn that you think you need to know more of. Next slide, Rima.
All right, I'm just sharing the results from the poll.
Oh, sure, go ahead.
Yeah, we've got 76 people saying yes, they use it for marketing, and 24 people saying no, they're not using it for marketing purposes.
Okay.
All right, okay, great. So we're coming to the end of our presentation actually, and we've got some resources here, and I know Penina has shared some of this thing as well. But like we mentioned earlier, what you can do is create a content calendar. Content calendar would be very helpful for you guys to be able to just, you know, so sit on a Sunday, for example. So if you're not able to, you know, give Eunice or myself to help you guys out with social media marketing, then you can always create your own calendar and put it out. Sit on a Saturday or a Sunday, create the posts for the entire week. Like I mentioned, it doesn't have to be every day. Come up with your own sort of, you know, look and feel if it's, you know, 3 times a week, 5 times a week. Is it Wednesdays? Is it Friday, Saturday, Sunday? I mean, what is it that works for you and what is it that works for your customers? When you can find them is what you work with. We've got some social media management tools as well. Let me try and see if I can be able to share my screen on that. Okay, so here's the social media content calendar that we're talking about that we have a link for. Then we've got this one, which is ultimate use of free content creation tools.
Yep.
And sorry, here we go. And then we've got the social media management tools. Again, there are some free plans in here as well. You can be able to try out what works for you, like Buffer, Hootsuite, Sprout Social. I mean, there's so many different ones actually. I know that Later does it. I know that Canva does it as well. So it's up to you guys to figure out which one works best for you as well. So we've got some resource links in there for you guys, okay? We would love to hear about how you like the event. So I'm just gonna skip this through and just take you through to the end first. Before we go to the end, is what we have up next is our social media marketing Q&A. We have a coffee chat, or the chat that we talk about. We do it every month, again, the same as we do the webinar. We will put the registration link in here as well. We've got Alex Mwai of Archer Digital, who is actually the digital marketing expert at Sandbox. And just to let you guys know, I am the marketing expert at Sandbox. Just saying, I just joined them actually in July. Really, really excited about it. But yeah, so we're going to have Alex actually coming on our chat, which is going to be, is it 23rd or 29th? It's supposed to be on the 29th, actually, guys. 29th, yeah. So it's going to be on the 29th. So that's a typo error right there. But so please, you know, put it in your calendars for 1 to 2:30 p.m. for that day.
The chat is informal, so there's no presentation. It's we hang out, bring your cup of coffee, your tea, or your lunch, hang out with us. Alex answers questions. You can ask questions and ask all types of questions, and you come with your questions and we answer them. So it's very informal.
Yeah, we are going to take your questions right now as well.
Yes.
So we're not going away. We'd love to hear your questions, and we'll ask you actually to unmute yourself and ask, or you can put that on the chat and we'll answer your questions. But we would love to hear how you found our webinar today. So you can do the QR code. You can, I find just, you know, putting on my camera and then it just reads the QR code very easily. And then you can click on it and then go to open and review. Or there is one for Eunice, which is that one. And I think is someone has Penina shared that? Penina, I'd like you to share both the links on the
Yes,
chat.
please.
All right. So we can hear about how you found our webinar, guys. This is what will help us to create more content for you guys. If you didn't like it, please let us know why. But if there's things that you actually found something interesting today, please let us know as well. That would be very, very helpful. All right. Great, guys. So let's go into the Q&A actually.
I like Nancy's statement that she learned about the cross multiplication effect across multiple platforms. How to do that effectively to increase reach. Yes. Gosh, Nancy, that is trying to get users who don't know about you in one platform to come over to another platform, especially when that is, like, say, for example, TikTok, which is a 1-minute video, and you have a tutorial. So, for example, I'm teaching about value proposition, and I say a couple of sentences on TikTok, and I say, for the extended video, find me on YouTube, and where I have a 15-minute video with the value proposition Canva, and I'm teaching about value proposition, and it's the extended videos on YouTube. And then maybe I have the presentation on the website with a downloaded, a PowerPoint presentation about it there. So you're making sure that you've got all those platforms has your content. But also the other thing, and I don't know if you remember Rima saying this, the SEO effect on this is that you've talked about this, and this is in your bio on TikTok. It's then in your Instagram and in your bio and there as well. All this then start to help you rank with all the search engines. So if somebody is searching for units with value proposition, I show up on TikTok, Instagram, LinkedIn, every platform shows up with value proposition. So that becomes a key word for me. So Nancy's cupcakes, gluten-free cupcakes, now start to rank. If anybody in Kenya is searching for gluten-free cupcakes, Nancy will always show up. So guys, think about that, right? Instead of paying for extensive work to rank, you're ranking by doing organic stuff before you pay for stuff. All right, so do that.
Actually, one of the tips again that I would find that I find very interesting is when you're doing your business and you've got, like, even if you don't have, even if you're not doing posts on every single social media platform, but have your name, address, and phone number as the same in all different platforms.
Exactly.
Right? Please have that's now called the NAP consistency, name, address, phone number, consistency all across for SEO, for search engine optimization, even for your social media pages.
Exactly.
Right? Very, very crucial. I will add here, Google My Business. Guys, if you don't have a Google My Business account, please create one or ask us to create it for you, and we'll get it verified, and we'll give you the reins for it as well. And Google My Business actually lets you put products on it as well. It lets you post on it. So it's kind of similar to that as well. And the more you post and more you engage on Google My Business and get reviews from your customers on a daily basis or very regularly and reply to those reviews, Google sees that as very active on your site, and they help you to rank higher.
Yep.
Right. So that's such important information. Google My Business is very, very crucial at this particular moment. Right. And especially here in Kenya, we all Google everything, right? So
yep.
You want to be consistent. You want to be up there. So guys, just, sort of do that. All right. I'm just going to go through some of the other things that are people saying. Guys, just either you can unmute yourself or you can write your questions here, but I'm just going to go through what Lillian says. I learned about social media management tools. That's great, Lillian. Katrisa says, thank you so much. I learned a lot. I didn't know one can schedule posts. Yes, you can.
Yes,
you can schedule posts even directly from the Facebook page or Instagram page or something. You can be able to do that from there. I didn't know you can market on TikTok.
Yes, you can.
Definitely can. All right. Liberty says, thanks for the sharing. Very helpful insights from the session. Martin, I love your input here. Canva is also a good platform for creating TikTok content or even YouTube shorts. Thank you for that.
Absolutely, yeah.
Thanks for that. Linda, I love your sessions. I always look forward to them. I'm still trying to figure out how to apply social media marketing to my line of profession, which is road construction. I think we mentioned this to you, Linda. I remember you from a conversation that we had. I think it was one of our coffee chat conversations where you can be the industry leader. So you create stories and educative things around about road construction. And I think you can try that out.
I have a comment, Linda. You should have YouTube shorts, even if it's you working on a pothole or what goes into repairing a road, because most people don't understand. Explaining, even if it's the budget of creating a road, things like that people care about because we are lied to all the time. So you may think that's boring, but it's authentic and true. So things about industry, educate it and make it entertaining. Even if it's you rushing to work with your hat on and you're late and you're trying to figure out what outfit to wear because today you're going to be on site and you're filming the site and what you guys are going to do. That is interesting to people. I'll give you an idea. There's folks on YouTube that do construction with limited budget. So there's one show I follow all the time. I'd like to build a home, and these guys are doing a budget of 100,000. They want to build a home, and watching these couples try to build a home under 100,000 is just hilarious. They make mistakes. Some people forget to put windows, and for me, I'm there taking notes. Okay, don't forget windows, but you follow these things, right? So if you and it's construction, you think who would want to follow that? But they've got following.
Right way of patching a pothole. There's a right way and a wrong way of doing it. What is the right way of doing it so that it doesn't break down again, for example, right?
Yes.
Or how often does road maintenance need to be done that people don't know about?
Yeah, on what new technologies should we get excited about that will go into road construction we should think about? Or, because many people now creating driveways in their homes, what should we consider as opposed to this material versus that material? What lasts longer, one material versus the other? There's so much you can do, Linda, so much.
Right. Thanks for that, Linda. And, keep us posted. I would love to hear, when you start your posting and, see what kind of content you come up with. Yeah, Martin is asking, what about the profile image? Should it be consistent across all platforms? And that's a yes.
Yes.
All right. Please, your the picture, the picture that's in the round, profile, and then the header as well. All of them have to be consistent. Guys, the other thing I'm going to talk about in terms of consistency, it's called integrated communication, integrated marketing, which is whatever you're posting on one platform. And if you have many different platforms, please make sure that it's the same communication all across the different platforms.
Yes.
Okay. Because people prefer different platforms at any certain time. There's some people who are diehard Twitter fans and they will not go into anything else. Maybe they'll do Facebook once a month, I don't know, or never. So then you have the same messaging all across your different platforms. It's like some people prefer coffee, some people prefer tea, some people prefer juices. It's just the same way some people prefer different platforms, okay? So have that same message all across.
Sure. Yeah. Elizabeth asks, I don't know about Google My Business. Elizabeth, get it started and you need help, talk to Rima. She'll get you sorted.
We will get you sorted. Yeah. Just press a shout and we'll be able to help you out.
And how about Yelp? Yelp, how is Yelp doing in Kenya? Yelp is really big in the States. Yelp reviews are super important for businesses in the States. I don't know how well it's doing in Kenya, but reviews paramount, regardless of platforms, are super important because people make decisions about purchasing from a business based on those reviews. And here's a thing I have learned. People don't even care, and I learned this from a behavioral conference that I attended, about the 1 star or the 5 star. They care about the 2, 3, and 4. So people make decisions based on the answers of those customers that give a 2 or a 3 or a 4. Because a 1 star sounds like somebody who's pissed off but didn't care to talk to the business about solving it. And the 5 star, that is somebody who totally loves, but they don't give you a good insight about the business at all. The 2, 3, and 4 tell you in depth about their experience. I like this and this and this and this, but I did not like this and this and this and this. So you're able to make a decision about the business. So Yelp is pretty good about reviews. So is Google
Google My Business. Yeah. Google reviews, I think, would help you out. I mean, if you're looking at Kenya, then Google is your place. Facebook also. Facebook has a place where you can recommend or not recommend and get a review. That's also a good place to actually get reviews. Get your customers, give them the link, get them to ask, ask for feedback. If you don't ask for feedback, you will not get it. So please do ask for feedback. In fact, one of the things that we do at Ardy Marketing is called reputation marketing. If you ever want to know about that, that's related to getting feedback and reviews and leveraging on existing customers to attract new customers or potential customers, please feel free to reach out to me or anyone from the team, and we'll get to be able to tell you more about that. We've got, what is the other question here? Thanks for the session. I just came in, Rogers. You came in really late today, but yes, we will have a recording for for today for sure. All right, Albert, same thing. I'm hoping that you're still getting some sort of information from this webinar so far.
Martin, thank you. You can try TikTok to create short videos doing the road patching. Yeah. Linda, listen.
Okay, Elizabeth, is there a tip you can give us on the best way to get more likes and followings? If you do a Facebook sponsored advert or a Instagram sponsored advert, like how do I reach more people within Nairobi? What's the best amount to pay on an advert, and how long should an advert take for more effectiveness? Okay, first and foremost, understand who you're talking to. Remember, go back to what we were talking to earlier. Who's your target audience? The entire Nairobi is not your target audience. So who's your target audience? Understand the buyer persona very, very well. Understand your target audience very well, and then you can do targeted ads. So when you do an ad through the Facebook ad manager, for example, you're able to then select what kind of people you can be able to follow, and what are their interests. Here's the other thing. People forget that as much as I am trying to attract advocates or, to my business, but they have other interests. Maybe they like golf. Maybe they are family people. Maybe they have children, they have other things in their lives that you need to now put together when you're doing ads. And Eunice you can talk about like how little and the price of an ad you can start with.
You can start as little as 1,000 bob, and experiment as little as that. And just so that you learn and you see what Facebook serves up. And before you put the ad, just post the image and your content and see how it does. If it does well, then boost it and see if it gets following, and then create an ad after that. That gets you following. But what Rima said about getting targeted about those for the following, if you're selling vitenges, you don't want men to follow. Men will follow if they wanted to buy their wives or girlfriends a kitenge, but then later probably they unfollow because it's not their content, right? So think about what it is you're trying to sell, the products and services you're trying to sell, and who you're targeting to. Then create that audience so that you're getting the right people. Because then you'll be spraying and praying, like we say. You're just pushing it out there and hoping somebody connects and converts. So you're wasting money. So don't do that. Just pick the audience, then target them. All right.
So the likes and followers are going to be relevant people, not just, you know, increasing it by bots and things.
Yes.
You know, it's not just a crazy following that, oh my God, you know, I achieved 10,000 people following me now within one day because I put this much amount of money, but the people following are not your target audience.
And they're not buying.
Irrelevant. Yeah. And they will not buy. They will not buy. All right. So let's see. Okay. There you go. I think we've done all the questions so far on this. And shall we call it a day? I hope to see you guys at the social media marketing chat that we have.
Yes.
It's on the 29th of September. That's about what, 2 weeks from today?
Yep.
Yeah, 2 weeks from today.
Can I recognize that Lillian did ask for social media analytics and understanding more about the tools. And so maybe there's something we will discuss social media analytics at some point, and the tools for managing the social media at some point.
Okay, sounds good. So if you haven't caught any of our recordings or our webinars or our chats before, please go to our YouTube channels. Please like, please subscribe, and share with the people in your lives. And, you know, tell us if you actually like the videos, the recordings. I mean, comment on it, please, as well. Leave a comment that, you know, you actually enjoyed it or you didn't enjoy it. You know, that's feedback from you guys.
It's important. Yes.
It's important to get that feedback from you guys, right?
Eric has a last question.
Okay, Eric, why don't you just unmute yourself and ask your question? Eric, you can unmute yourself and ask your question. Eric, yeah, why don't you just here, I've unmuted you or asked you to unmute yourself. Yeah, tell me.
Hello.
Yes, we can hear you. Hi,
Hello.
Eric.
Hey.
Hi. Thank you for this session. Actually, let me really appreciate you. Then I have this one question. You said it is so, you normally encourage one to have that is same name across all the social media platforms. And then it happened that when I created my Facebook account, I had a different name. When I created my Twitter, I got a different name as well. And now I'm doing some content creation in YouTube, and still I don't have a different name. How can I merge all these platforms to get one single name?
You can rename. If you can go to Facebook and try and rename to the name you'd like, and make sure you go to all the platforms and try and rename to one name. So if you wanted to name it to your last name, try and see if Facebook would let you rename to one name. So find that one name that you want to stick to and rename. So it stays uniform. So you go to Facebook and you go to Twitter and you go to YouTube and see if you can rename to that one name. So for example, if I wanted My Biz Marketer Africa, I'd try and rename every platform My Biz Marketer Africa, so it stays uniform everywhere. So sometimes you'll find that that name is not available. So you have to find a name that you like, that you'd stick with, that then you rename to that name and make sure that it's available.
Okay, great, Eric. Thanks for that question. Thank you very much for that question. Jathniel is here. Okay, Jathniel, go on then. Ask your question. And then after your question, we'll close today's session.
Okay, hello.
Hi, Jathniel.
Yeah, so I wanted to ask, like sometime around last year when the pandemic kicked in, we were trying to gain some organic following on Facebook, but it turned out that we came to learn that actually when you use hashtags on Facebook post, the Facebook algorithm normally skips your post. So I don't know if that still stands.
How many hashtags were you using?
Around 4 to 6 per post.
Did you try one?
Not really.
And did you have emojis?
No. We did not use emojis.
Okay. I think it's difficult to blame it on just the hashtags, because I know we do hashtags all the time and we'll put 4 and 5 and it's not a problem. I'm thinking there's something else. I'd probably want to see the post before I say it was the hashtags. I doubt it was the hashtags.
Oh, okay. I think I can share it later on.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Great. Okay, lovely people. Again, thank you so much for coming today and being with us and listening to us and interacting with us and asking your questions and giving your comments and suggestions and ideas. We've taken all of them in. And I at least saw one person saying that they would like the next webinar to be about social media marketing tips. If you'd like that, you can just say yes or no on the chat. So we just know that you'd like that to be our next webinar. But otherwise, we would thank you so much for being here today, and would love for you to come back again. We'll see you guys on the 29th. We're getting quite a bit of yeses. Okay, lovely.
Oh,
all right. Fantastic. So that's going to be our next webinar, which is going to be next month. Lovely. Thank you guys so much.
Thank you.
Okay. Otherwise, want to wish you a really lovely afternoon and evening. It looks like it's going to rain over here. The weather is completely changed. But thank you guys so much and have a lovely time.
Stay safe.
Always reach out to us if you have any questions at all.
Yeah,
right?
Absolutely.
All right, then. Bye,
Thanks,
everybody.
Elizabeth. Thanks, Simba. Thanks, Rogers. Thank you, Lillian. Thank you, Maureen. Katrissa, thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.